All right, so tonight in New Orleans, Teofimo Lopez improves to 10-0 with 8 knockouts, stops William Silva in 6 rounds. And I know Silva coming in, I knew he had taken Felix Verdejo the distance. I know he had only lost once, but I don't believe he had been stopped. Even if he has been stopped, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think he was. Either way, he's never been tuned up like this. Teofimo Lopez looked amazing in this fight. Looked very, very poised, took his time, but you never got the sense that he was playing with his food. Everything was done with intent, and he systematically chopped Silva down. A very, very impressive performance for a fighter in only his 10th pro fight. All that being said, real quick, I gotta talk about Silva's corner. Silva was getting beat up bad in this fight. He was bleeding, was knocked down several times, and after the first knockdown, I can't remember which round it was, it might have been the 2nd or 3rd round, was bleeding, face was busted up. After about the 4th or 5th round, this fight could have been stopped. There was absolutely no reason. In fact, I think it was the 5th round, which was pretty much a 10-8 round. He was getting absolutely battered, pillar to post. The corner shouldn't have sent him out for the 6th round, but they did. And what happened? He came out and immediately got flattened in the 6th. That corner should be ashamed of themselves. We just saw what happened last week in Fresno with Jose Carlos Ramirez, right? He was supposed to fight the British fighter, it wasn't a British fighter, Danny O'Connor, an American fighter, but 4 hours in a sauna, and his team was letting him go through that. Ends up in the hospital, that fight gets canceled. These corners, these teams have to be held more accountable. And I just thought that Silva's corner, sending him out for that 6th round, it's 2 weeks in a row now where we've just seen bad corner/team management of a fighter that affected the fighter's health in a negative way that was unnecessary. Just completely unnecessary. But for Lopez, 10-0 now is the lightweight. Loaded division. Of course, you got Lomachenko, you got Garcia and Easter, they're about to fight. You got Beltran, he's about to fight in his adopted hometown of Phoenix, coming up later this summer. Not ready for a title shot yet against any of those guys. Maybe if Beltran wins, maybe, but of course, he's probably going to fight Lomachenko next if he wins. But 2-3 fights away from that, and this kid's going to be a stud. He's going to be a star. He's going to win titles at several weights. Let's talk about the main event. Regis Prograis improves to 22-0 with 19 knockouts, stops Juan Jose Velasco in the 8th round. This was another fight that I thought the corner was too brave for their fighter. This fight could have been stopped after the 6th round. Velasco was just getting beat up, and I couldn't tell sitting here, but I was told by a few people that were watching the TV broadcast that in his corner, Velasco was telling his team he wanted to stop. He didn't want to go out for that 8th round. He wanted to just quit on his stool, but his team was pushing him. Look, I get it. Sometimes you need to step in for your fighter and push them a little bit. You need to motivate them. Nobody knows a fighter better than their team, but there was no point. He was not going to win this fight. It was competitive early on. Velasco landed some shots, and Prograis actually talked to his promoter, Lou DiBello, yesterday. I posted the interview on my channel, guys, check it out. And Lou talked about the fact that Prograis likes to feel punches from his opponent. He doesn't watch any tape on his opponents. He likes to get in there, listen to his corner, the instructions, and make adjustments on the fly. But he likes to eat some shots. He likes that to see if he can take the power, and then he responds. And he did that early on in this fight. So Velasco landed some shots, but maybe he was feeling like he was getting some work done, but it was all in vain because Prograis was letting him do it. Either way, by the middle rounds, Prograis was in full control, teeing off, doing whatever he wanted to do. What was the point of bringing Velasco out for the 7th and 8th round? Your fighter didn't even want to be out there. So another corner, I think, that was too brave for their fighter, let their fighter down, and it negatively affected his health. This is serious shit. This isn't football or basketball or soccer. This is boxing. You shouldn't put a fighter out there that's getting beat up, has no chance to win a fight, and doesn't even want to be out there. Anyway, I'll get off my soapbox now. Let's talk about Prograis. About to go in the World Boxing Super Series 140-pound tournament. Loaded tournament, right? Loaded pool of talent. And I'll go back to that interview with DiBello. He gave some exclusives about some fighters that are going to be in the tournament that the boxing scenes and all the other sites haven't caught up to yet. You heard it here first, right? So check that interview out. This tournament is going to unify the IBF, WBA, WBC titles. It's a big, big deal. And I think Prograis has to be the favorite going in. It's between him and Josh Taylor. Those two guys are probably going to be in the final. There's some things Prograis does that I don't love. but maybe he was doing it tonight, eating some shots he didn't need to, taking his time, wasn't sitting down on all the shots. He was wasn't even turning over, just kind of slapping early on. Maybe he was just getting some work in, maybe he was entertaining the crowd, maybe he was feeling some nerves fighting in front of his hometown crowd for the first time in years, and he just wanted to get some work in. Maybe that's all it was. In the tournament, he's got to clean that shit up. He can't do that in the tournament because he's going to be fighting world-class, elite-level opposition. I think he'll clean that up, and I think that the sky's the limit for this kid. And real quick, let's talk about the crowd here in New Orleans. It's maybe about 3,000, 4,000 fans here at this arena. Top Rank has Lou DiBella and Top Rank work together on this promotion. It's Lou DiBella's fighter. He's got something here with Prograis. I think that there's a lot of potential in this market for boxing. New Orleans used to be a big fight town. It hasn't been for decades. They need to start building it up back here. The hometown fans responded to Prograis tonight. He's got people excited.